Hello everyone. In this video we will use solidSTUDIO Pro for a analysis of cone beam CTs in endodontic cases. As you can see in this case, we're going to see the upper molar, the upper right molar, the upper 6 and the upper 5, and we want to trace the canal, to trace the root, to see the canal from the orifice until the apex, as you can see here. And we're going to see some features where we can simulate the access cavity as seen here, and also we are going to visualize the canals inside the root as seen here. Okay, as we can see here, the two canals, how they are passed through the root. So to begin with, we need to open the case. As you can see, this is the case as we open it in the previous videos. Now one volume will appear on the left side. This is the main volume. This is the main volume. You can change the threshold to see the different structures, but as you can see, they are not separated. So the first thing we need to do is to extract a volume cropped to the region that we want to visualize. So we navigate through the cone beam slices to where we are going to focus. Here we're going to focus on the right upper molar and premolar. So we click on the volumes and we crop. A crop box will appear on the 3 dimensions. We need to minimize this crop box to the required region. Okay, on the all sections. Here we can see the 6 and 5. Here in the front view, the corona axis and the axial axis, we can see our extension of the crop box. This is okay. Now, here the crop function, we will see here the resolution of the cropped function. I prefer to keep it as 0.3 millimeter, and then we apply the crop box. Now, 2 volumes will appear. The main volume is the volume 1. If we hide it, the second volume that we have cropped will remain. If we hide it, it will be hidden. Okay, again, we click on the volume so that we can modify the functions. The first thing that we can change is the threshold. As you increase the threshold, the value of the threshold, bone will disappear. But as you can see, the problem when increasing the threshold is that softer structures like root apices will disappear also. Now, as you can see here, the harder bone will disappear, but also the root apex will disappear. And this is an important feature when we are going to analyze cone beam images. So we need to set the threshold on a value that the roots are almost clear, and we want to delete these structures, the harder bone. So I think this is okay. 1100 is okay. So we start with the edit volume tool, and we can just remove the structures that we do not want. You click, draw, and then double click and apply the value. Change by the rotation of the right click. We're using right click. You can delete this area. Double click. Now it's almost okay. You can delete this area. Now try to avoid deleting structures near the apices, because you cannot judge that this is the real root apex, or it's because the threshold is high, it's not appearing. And if you want to verify that, you can go to the cross sections. You can navigate the sections that you see the red voxels, if they are okay. As you can see here, you can rotate, you can use the scroll mouse here to see that, okay, we have a good threshold. Now in this area, our interest is the root tip of the upper 5, so we need to navigate using the control key. With the left mouse you can rotate the cross sections. As you can see here, the root tip is not obvious, so we need to use this edit box. But by using the control key and the scroll, you can change the size of it and make sure that you're growing the area. By using the right mouse button, now you just move the mouse. As you can see here, now it's almost complete. Now we need to delete the other structures. The first thing that we need to do is the blur volume. Okay, now we need to modify these things. Stop using edit volume and we use the beam edit tool. Now with the beam edit tool we can grow or reduce. We need to reduce these areas, so we click on the reduce. The value is okay. Now using the scroll mouse we can zoom in. If we want to change the size of the circle of the edit, you just click on the shift button on the keyboard and scroll the mouse down so that you can change the size of it. Now using the left mouse button, you can see we can almost erasing these things. Try to avoid erasing while you have a structure behind this. So if you click here, you will erase the root of the 6. So we need to take an angulation that only the structure you need to erase is obvious to you, and you left click. Now we need to delete these. Now it's okay. Okay, now it's almost done. We need just to make sure that these sections here, you go to the level of these are the structures here. Again, on reduce, using the right mouse button now. Okay, these are okay. Now we need to delete this. It's almost okay, and you can go here, some touches here, but it's okay. If you want to delete this, you can edit tool, click, double click, and finally delete. Now we have finished taking out the 2 teeth out of the main volume, but we still have the main volume here. This is the 2 teeth out of the main volume. Now the second thing that we need to do is to trace the root, try to trace the canals. So we go to the desired tooth. Now we are talking about here the 6. We are going to the mesial root. We just want to make that the cut is passing through the axis of the root. So you modify the axis of the cuts, the green and the red, as we said before, that the green line is this one, the red line is this cut. Now you make sure that the cut is passing through the root, and as you can see here, because it's straight cut, you cannot see the root from the apex until the orifice. So you need to take another cut that is curved. Now you can scroll in this cut using the mouse scroll button. You can scroll in this. As you can see here, the cut is moving by a step. The step size is here, is 0.3 millimeters. What if I want it to be less? As you can see, when I'm moving the scroll button, it's moving a big step. It's 0.3 millimeter. What if I want a less amount? So I just click here on the 0.3 and move the scroll into 0.1 millimeter. This is the least amount. And when you scroll, you can see smoother cuts. Now if you take another cut here, let's say 0.8 millimeter, now when you scroll, you will have bigger steps. Okay, but still using this scroll, you cannot see the root from the orifice until the apex. So what's the solution? We need to trace the canal. So just make sure that you are navigating through the tooth, the desired tooth. Your cuts are almost running the most appropriate cut inside the root. This is the most appropriate cut. You can little bit move it, and then you start tracing the canal. Now you click on trace canal, and you go inside this tooth, clicking dot by dot, trying to make a curved cut. Now this is a curved cut. Now as you can see here, you click, you add point, try to add as much points as you can. Add a point, add a point, add a point. Finally, when you are out of the root, just try to click and you will finish adding points. Now you will see here that the root, the cut, let's hide this main volume, we have created a new cut that is the curved one here. But as you can see, the canal is not obvious, so we need to modify this cut. And the problem is that we have some twist inside the root. This twist will hide some valuable information about the canal inside the root, so we need to click on the canal one and you edit the canal. Now editing the canal, the balls will appear in a different color, the white one, and when you select this point, let's say you click it on this view, the point will appear. You can move it, as you can see. On this cut, when you move the cut position, also it will be updated here. So let's start one by one. You click on this. You can use these two arrows to select the balls, the desired ball. I prefer to start with the coronal bar, the most coronal bar here. You just make sure. We have two balls, the central ball and we have the pivot ball. This ball will modify the direction of the axis at this level. You can see here on the 3D, when you modify this, you will change the direction of the cut here at this level. Now try to let it pass through the orifice, through the bulb, and go to the next point. Here as you can see it's a little bit out. You try to put it inside. Now we are starting to see the size of the MB2, and you want to modify the direction again with the next point. Now it's appearing a little bit more obvious and you can modify. Now it depends on the resolution of the cone beam image that you have. This is a full field of view image, so the resolution is almost 150 microns. Just set it to the max. Go down and change the direction. That's it. As you can see here, we have a shadow of the second canal. Because it's narrower than the resolution of the image, we cannot see it properly, but we have a shadow of the canal. And another thing that tells us that there's two canals is the position of the first canal. It's a little bit not centralized. So we move to the next one. That's it. As you can see, yes, excellent. Okay, moving. And we can verify every move on the 3D image. Now as you can see here, we have two canals almost in one orifice, in one apex. You can change the window level and the window width to see the canals properly. Now this is the canal tracing. Now what if we want to see a simulation of the axis cavity? We just in the edit tool, move the navigate to the bulb chamber, as you can see here, and we go to the volumes tab and press on the clip and reset to center. Now this will cut the tooth. As you can see here, we need to flip it. Just click on flip. As you can see here, we have this view. You hide the traced canal, and you can see here the palatal canal, the distal canal, and the mesial canals. This is the MB1, and we have here, I don't know, I want to verify if this is the MB2 or not. So I click on the add canal button. I start by double click, 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 and double click, double click. Now here we will see the canal if we reduce the opacity. Now this is the first, this is the second canal, this is the position of the second canal. If we want to add a trace for the first canal, you just again click on add canal, double click, double click, double click, double click, double click. Okay, we have here both canals appearing, so we can define, when we are opening the axis of this tooth, we can define the position of the orifice. Sorry. So we have here a simulation of the axis cavity. You can, if you press on the control button with scroll mouse, you can go up and down. That's it. Okay. Hope this video is clear. See you in the next video.